The replacement for the Lexus, a car I teased not too long ago, and I told you I had a vehicle on order. Well, officially as of today, I have the replacement for this car on order, down payment paid, and well, let's talk about it. It's nothing exciting, it's not a supercar, it's not a sports car, it's nothing crazy, but it is a super practical daily driver that just makes a lot of sense at this moment in time. So let's talk about it. As far as the Lexus goes, we need to sell this car before this vehicle gets here, but we have about 6 to 8 months, maybe even 10 months until this vehicle gets here. And well, I have the paperwork for said vehicle right here. Let's talk about it. Talk about the new vehicle, talk about why, talk about how. In a video not too long ago, I told you guys I'm selling the Lexus, I'm buying a new car, buying a new daily, and I already had a car on order. Well, I spoke a little too soon. I didn't have a car on order at that moment in time, but I had a meeting lined up to order said car, and I've just waited to make this video until said car has been officially ordered, and I have the receipt for the vehicle. So I'm just going to tell you guys the new car we're ordering, not drag you guys on too long. It is a Toyota. I have ordered a new Toyota Prius, a 2024 Toyota Prius. In the past, the Prius hasn't been the coolest car in the world, but this new Prius, I think, actually looks really good. And it's just super practical and makes a lot of sense to have in the garage. Now, this isn't part of my collection, you may say, per se. This is a vehicle, you know, we saw it come out, and I'm like, oh, that'd be really cool to have in the garage. And my dad's like, well, I think I'd buy one. So we're going to be taking delivery of said Prius in the family in about 6 to 8 months, 6 to 10 months. There isn't really a good time period because they're still waiting on other people's orders to go through. As soon as other people's orders go through, I can get a more exact time frame. Hopefully by the end of this year, I'll have some type of news on when the car is coming. I just like the new Prius. It's cool. It's very, very practical for what we're going to be using the Lexus for in the near future, so it makes sense to replace that car for a car that gets 55, 60 miles to the gallon. One thing I did get to do is spec it out. I have ordered an XLE Prius, which is basically second to base. Here's kind of all of the options right here. The color is not final, but this is a 2023. It's going to be a 2024 because 2024 models come out in a couple of months here. It's an XLE, which is second to base. You have all of the options right there, keeping it pretty simple, pretty straightforward. The white is kind of my number one color choice at this moment in time. It costs $495. I would take a black car. I believe black is free. I would take a blue car. Blue is free. And I would possibly take the silvers, but I'm not really too keen on them. The other color I kind of want, but I want to see before it comes, would be the yellow. A yellow Prius is Canada only right now. They are saying they're going to bring it into the United States in 2024, which again is the car that I'm going to be getting. So it might be an option that I can get. More to come on that. That's obviously very much up in the air at this moment in time. The only other package I'm really adding is the fixed glass roof with the bigger digital screen. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be an option 100% or not. You have to get the sunroof and the bigger screen together, which is a $2,010 option. A little bit more than I wanted to spend on the options because I would rather have just the fixed sunroof and not have the digital screen. It turns out to be like $1,100 or so. We'll see whether or not I get that option or not because the fixed sunroof on its own is like $11 or $12, and then the screen is another couple hundred, $700, $800. I don't really care for the screen, but I want the screen, but I want, you know, having sunroof, but I don't really care that much. It's a $2,000 option, and I'm just trying to keep it as cheap as possible because I think that's the most ideal situation. But most likely, there's going to be a ton of miles put on this car because the Lexus is kind of used for the same purpose. Every single person in our family ends up driving the car at one point during the week. It's pretty much used on a daily basis. That's one of the reasons why we need a car with better gas mileage. I think if we're going to be driving it that much, it would make sense to just pay $2,000 to get some better options in it. Comes standard with Apple CarPlay, comes standard with a screen, but it kind of be nice to just have a little bit more luxury. But I guess we'll figure out what we're going to do as time progresses here. Everything comes out to $34,794. Not a cheap vehicle, but also not insanely expensive for what you're getting. You're getting a car that has heated seats, heated steering wheel, I'm pretty sure, Apple CarPlay is a standard option, and 55 miles to the gallon on highway and city. I think that's a win-win, even though it costs significantly more than Lexus. The Lexus I got because it was cheap, but now it's time to upgrade, I suppose, the family vehicle. After taxes and everything, it comes out to $37,000. I have a $500 down payment already on the car, which is $36,600 basically, because it's about $37,100. The reason I have put a $500 deposit is because it is 100% refundable if I do find a car that ends up on a dealership lot, if I do change my mind, but at this moment in time, it makes so much sense to go with this. And I say it might change, it's most likely not going to change, because when a Prius came out, we're like, oh, that looks good, and then my parents were like, it kind of makes sense to get. I'm like, it does make sense to get, so that's why the car just makes so much sense. And this is the reason why I'm selling the Lexus. No other reason as to why I'm selling the Lexus except this. But there's one reason why I've waited so long to get this video out, and that is simply because Priuses are going over sticker. I was going to order one 2 weeks ago at my dealership near my town, or in my town, and they said they're charging $2,000 just flat over sticker. Then I went to the next dealership down a little south of me, and they were charging over sticker, but she's like, all right, just come in, let's see what we can do. I'm like, I'm buying this at sticker. I told her on the phone, she's like, yeah, just come in, basically to get me into the door. And while I got there, I sat down, and she's like, okay, well, we're charging $4,000 for this package that you have to buy for basically ceramic coating. And I'm like, I don't want that. And she's like, okay, well, let me just write out the deal for you. She wrote out the deal, and she was like $2,000 or $3,000 over a sticker, and then trying to upsell me on an all-wheel drive car, and then trying to upsell me a ceramic coating package. Altogether, I believe she was $5,000 to $7,000 over MSRP. So to say the very least, I walked out of that dealership, and she said, good luck getting it at sticker, and well, 2 days later, if you can read that piece of paper right there, that says, sale price equals MSRP at delivery, because MSRPs might change in the 2024 model year. I think I'm going to go one more time to my local dealership, because we've had business with them before, and say, hey, I'm getting this from this dealership. If you want to give me one of the cars at sticker, I'm still game to give you guys business, but I don't think it's going to happen. And that's a story for a different time. But there you guys have it. That is the new car that I have put on order, and a car that actually should be showing up in a semi-reasonable amount of time. This isn't a car that's going to be part of the collection per se, but I think it's a little cool daily driver. It's a cool new car. We'll make some videos on it when it arrives. And it's a little replacement for my IS250 at this moment in time. In a year and a half or so, I think I'll probably buy a daily, like an IS300, but this is going to just work for me just fine for a little bit. Overall, the Prius is kind of cool now. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. That's all I have for this video. If you did enjoy, leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.